right. Oh, and we got the president of the Manitoba Métis Federation on the line, David Chartrand.
No,
he can haul 16 tons. I'll tell you that. He's been doing it for years.
As long as you don't tell me I weigh 16 tons there, I feel better now. So, well, good morning to everyone, or good afternoon now. And let me start off again first. Of course, we know Father's Day is coming up on Sunday, and just one day away. And I'm sure a lot of families are getting ready to spoil their daddies. And from my perspective, I know Laura's already prepared. We're going to have a barbecue, and then all of a sudden, of course, you're only amongst us in the family because of COVID.
Yeah.
And but now you can't because it's going to rain when they say so. So our plan now is just to have a roast and still enjoy Father's Day. They asked me what I wanted, and I said I want a roast. And so that'll be my spoil of the day. And of course, we cook extra. Don Roulette will come over and get a plate, and actually he can heat it at the house. He's allowed. I'm allowed to have one guest, and Don's been one guest all through. Mm-hmm. And then we invite Al Benoit, a bachelor, to come by. Arnold Hasham, another bachelor, to come by, grab a dish. Jack Park, and they come grab a dish and go home. So Gordon likes to cook a big meal, so this way we can spoil others for Father's Day. And I know they'll still be spoiled somewhat, but they like to come over for a meal. So again, happy Father's Day to all on behalf of the Métis government, on behalf of your cabinet. We want to express our gratitude to everyone that's going out. As I said, take a few minutes of your day, and to the kids listening, young ones, it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be the smallest of things, and maybe cut the lawn or do something just to make them feel special, that they can rest a day and you can take care of the extra work to take off their shoulders. So spoil them out. It's good to spoil. Of course, we know without question how much we want to spoil our mothers because they're the boss.
Yep.
But let's do a little bit for Father's Day and make sure that we can do it. I know my granddaughter already because we raised her. She went and bought me. She's trying to hide her bill. She bought me a shirt. So anyways, it just shows that, again, it's such a special time for kids to try to also at the same time spoil their dad, spoil their grandpa. So again, happy Father's Day to all, and be safe. Understand COVID's around. I know there'll be eagerness to just have big family meals, and everybody is welcome to the house. And I see that's still happening, and I'm still cautious because I still see some of these outbreaks that are happening. And there's one in Ontario Reserve that's really requesting now the military to go in to help out, and because it's hitting all the children and it's hitting hard. I know in Cranberry, Buggy and his family got hit, and they were in isolation. And I want to thank Judy and her daughter for getting some hampers and delivering them to some of the elders in Cranberry and to Buggy's family and his children, because they're all stuck in isolation. And if they're all families stuck in isolation, who's going to go shopping for them? So I want to thank Judy, our vice president, who jumped to the challenge and took hampers out there so they can stay safe and also not pass the COVID around in Cranberry Portage. So, again, as I said, it's so quick, it can move so fast, and it's so scary. And as a father, Buggy knows, as a single father, he is very scared of his grandkids, and his child, one of his grandsons got it, a young one, and he was just so scared that something's going to happen. So take this seriously. And I was just talking to Cal, a friend of mine, and he said it drives me nuts. He's much older than I am, but he said it drives me nuts when these people don't want to take their COVID. They said it's just a flu. I'm not worried about it. Then he said, well, damn well worry about other people then if you don't worry about yourself. So,
exactly.
So again, take COVID seriously, all those listeners out there. We're almost there. We're getting better and better, and we all know that unfortunately the provincial government failed us miserably in this time of need, and the polls are showing that now in the province. Polls are showing the Conservatives are dropping like an atomic bomb. Their numbers are just crushing down. And if there was an election today, NDP would win a clear majority without question. So it goes to show again that Palliser's thumb on the nation, on the province, is really out of tune. And his vindictiveness and his resentment to people who stand up against him or challenge him, and then he takes vindictive action, is coming back to roost and come back to haunt him. So again, as Métis and First Nations, my colleagues I speak to, when he tries to mislead and lie to people that he's consulted with us, which he hasn't. Good example, Lake St. Martin. He keeps on saying we got a gold standard consultation there, and First Nations have echoed, no, you don't. You did not consult with us. By sending us an email or a phone call doesn't mean you consulted with us. You can't keep on lying to the people.
Mm-hmm.
So we've echoed that to Canada. I had a good meeting with Minister Wilkinson, who was the environmental minister, who actually would be issuing the license for Lake St. Martin. And I told Mr. Wilkinson this week when I met with him, of course, over Zoom in Ottawa. He's a minister in Ottawa. And as a federal minister, I told him how disappointed we are and that our province is misleading messages to them that they've done their due diligence with the Indigenous people, with the Métis people. And I said to the minister, MMF and the Métis people, right now, they're not against Lake St. Martin diversion. What we're concerned about is that we need to know all the facts. We need to know what's going to happen in 10 or 20 or 30 years from now. We can't just do something and then not worry about the consequences for the next generation or the communities at stake. So if proper consultations, proper research is done, maybe if we can give recommendations, maybe putting separate diversions of how we dress fish when fish move from one. You're connecting two major lakes, right? Lake Manitoba and Lake Winnipeg. Lake Manitoba is higher than Lake Winnipeg.
Yeah. But
then you got the algae problem in Lake Winnipeg, then you got the mussel problem and all the rest of different issues that are rising. And then they're trying to shut down commercial fisheries. Provincial government has been trying to do that for some time by trying to buy their licenses out and shut them down. So, it's one of our staples. It's one of the traditional economies of our people. So, again, this issue, and I know some people are saying, well, I don't want to be flooded again. Nobody wants you to be flooded. Right. The issue for us that if we don't do it right, 10 or 20 years, your lakefront property might look completely different when the waters start exchanging each other. Then you're going to be saying, we should have. Yes, we should have. And that's why we're doing our due diligence and pushing hard. So I told the minister we cannot support him in any capacity by giving the province a license. By the way, the province hasn't even done their due diligence. If they were going to dig a shovel in the ground, they're about 18 months away. So Palliser going out and telling all these people, MMF and Indigenous people are stopping us from progress, that's absolutely not true. It's their own failure of their inappropriate operations to make sure that everything is intact and actually following the rules and meeting the environmental responsibilities. So again, that's something that we'll keep on keeping our people abreast on and educating them on and making sure they're fully aware of our job as Indigenous politicians and governments, that we got to do our job to protect our people. We also had, of course, a press conference. I had it on Friday morning. I was up early as a bird at 6 o'clock in the morning and getting ready with coffee, my wife and I outside. We did UNDRIP. UNDRIP now is passed Senate. I want to thank all the senators that passed it. There was still opposition. And this is the strange part, Ray, and I referenced this in the media. I spoke on national news on Friday morning, and I spoke about the issue about why is it the Conservative premiers are against this. Again, they didn't take the time to reflect the message that's coming from Indigenous governments. Mm-hmm. We made it very clear that the United Nations, this UNDRIP process is not one that's in any way trying to veto progress. That's not what it's all about. It's about a blueprint of how we consult and how we talk to each other, how we work together to achieve the same. It's good for business, a win-win for business, a win-win for Canadians, a win-win for Indigenous peoples. So when you look at it from that concept, it's unfortunate that we have, again, Conservative premiers opposed to this, and then using it as a tool to say, now you're giving the Indigenous people an hammer to stop progress, to stop economic development, to stop. And on the other hand, when something goes wrong, they run to Indigenous people to protect them in the environment. Yeah. So when you look at it overall, it's just unfortunate. I didn't think that all Conservatives would follow in that suit, and I think it's sad to see that happening in Canada. But they'll come along eventually, because I think people in general will see the strength of the United Nations resolution and the Indigenous peoples. And I think at the end of the day, they're going to be very clear that it's the right approach. And I said to them, look, in 1870, the Métis created the province of Manitoba. The First Nations signed Treaty 1, and Treaty 1, and all the treaties followed after that, the treaty in Western Canada. But you stop and ask yourself this question, I said. Let's look at it from this concept. Imagine, I said to the media on Friday, imagine if this is how they treated Indigenous people from the beginning, to consult, to be equal partners, to be respectful of our rights, to be respectful of our authoritative powers over lands and natural resources. Imagine if that's how they did it. We wouldn't be where we are today.
Right.
There would have been no residential schools. There would have been no 60 schools. because we would have been very strongly economically involved in the opportunities that exist in this country. So I said, stop and think about it for a second. So I do really praise the Prime Minister for not giving up on Indigenous people and respecting that they're a priority for him and his government. And he's doing everything in his power to make sure that the world will change for us and the future will change for us. But it's going to take time. He's trying to do 150 to 200 years of history here. And so I do commend the Prime Minister and Minister, of course, Bennett, Minister Lamedi, Minister of Justice, and all the senators, all those in NDP, and I think the Bloc also supported it. But I want to commend all of them because at the end of the day, this is progress. This is moving forward together, and that's what's so vital. Also had a chance to interview. I got interviews with Globe and Mail and at different stations, news stations, regarding the trip to meet with the Pope, and that's still up on the agenda. And we're getting closer and closer to finding who's going. And so it's going to be clear. There'll be 8 of us potentially meeting with the Pope, representing the Métis Nation. And I look forward to us actually doing our due diligence to make sure we represent the Métis Nation and their views and their issues strongly. And we'll get feedback, of course, from other people. And once the names, as I said, are very close to be concluded, and I'm looking forward to us all going out there and making a difference. Also, just recently, I just want to make sure that people don't get, as I said before, Premier Palliser's government likes to twist words and change stories or change the movie in some ways. They just appointed an elders committee, Métis First Nation, they say in Inuit, I believe, and they're saying that's going to be their consulting arm. Well, firstly, it's going to reflect on policy, it's going to reflect on operations and future impacts. So we said, they didn't even talk to us. They didn't talk to us in any capacity as a Métis government to get our opinion. I said, now you're putting elders into a position of policy revisions that could have a political impact in Indigenous governments. But you can't just use elders whenever you think it's convenient for you, and then blame them after when you make this. So we are very upset about the Palliser government doing that. We're not opposed to elders. The elders are our encyclopedia. In fact, they're our memory, they're our wisdom. But to put them in a position where it might have some political implications and being drawn into a political concern by Indigenous governments that can impact the everyday life of our people, and without even consulting the governments, is so wrong by the Palliser government. Again, we sent a strong letter expressing our displeasure on the way they approach this and trying to use elders now to push their own political agenda. And as I said, they'll blame the elders after. Say, well, we've got the elders to tell us this, so I'm sorry. Your voice has been heard. But there'll be no consultations. How are they responsible back to the Métis government and the First Nation government? How are they responsible to get input from the Indigenous governments or Indigenous peoples? So it's just unbelievable. On another note, we have a new Supreme Court judge. So people listening out there, his name is Jamal Mahmoud Jamal. He's actually a very bright lawyer out of Toronto. However, we were supporting very strongly Todd Deschamps. He's a Métis judge out of Ontario. Actually originates in St. Boniface, strong Métis Nation citizen, and I was lobbying hard for him to get appointed as the first Indigenous Supreme Court judge ever in our history, and unfortunately Canada went and chose a different individual. So Todd had all the solid qualifications to be a Supreme Court judge, but Jamal was selected, and I guess there was more support. I understand that there was provincial premiers involved or provincial governments involved in assisting on the decision. And so, unfortunately, the priority was for someone else, a different minority. And there'll be a time again, and I'm not giving up on this. And so I want to express my gratitude to Mr. Deschamps, that originally from St. Boniface and sitting as a judge in Ontario. So I had my fingers crossed, Ray. I was hoping that we'd get our first ever Indigenous Supreme Court judge sitting in our country, a country we own. So it wasn't fitting. So I wrote a little bit of give the government, federal Liberal government, kind of a backhand on their approach, but indicated again, I can't be disrespectful to Mr. Jamal, because he's a very well-skilled individual, and he's a minority. Hopefully, he'll understand. He's from Kenya. Originally, his family comes from Kenya, and so hopefully, he'll understand from a minority perspective what our rights are so important to us, and the impact of Indigenous ownership over Section 35 rights in our country, in the lands and natural resources that we should have a say over. Now, COVID vaccines are going excellent rate at the MMF right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thank all the staff and the team that's originating this. We want to push more, of course, to go into rural Manitoba. We need to get the vaccines from the province. They got to assign it to us. Right now, we got it through our pharmacy. Unfortunately, we don't have our second pharmacy open yet in Dauphin, but it'll be coming. And I encourage all our citizens listening in the Northwest region, all the First Nations, we encourage them to support us as we support their businesses. To ask them to make sure to use our pharmacy in Dauphin when it opens up. And as I said, the more we support Indigenous businesses, the stronger we'll get in the economy, the stronger we'll have a say in the everyday operations that occur by governments, whether federal or provincial. But in order to do that, we got to make sure that we are supporting the businesses of Indigenous nature.
Right.
Also, don't forget, June 21st is Indigenous Day in this country. And for us, it's Métis Day in Selkirk, Manitoba.
Mm-hmm.
And I know our local, our region, and all the other people that participate every year in that miss out last year. They're going to miss out this year. There's not going to be square dancing in front of them. They're not going to be dancing themselves on stage. As I love to see all those elders. They jump on the stage right away in Selkirk at the park. And the mayor, of course, Larry, and the rest of the team. April sits on the council. All the council members. I want to express my gratitude to Selkirk, Manitoba. You'll see our flags flying proudly right through the streets of Selkirk. And they roll the red carpet every time we do events in Selkirk. And that's, again, some place where thousands of people show up every year. Unfortunately, I want to express my unfortunate statement to them saying we can't have a public forum, free hamburgers, free hot dogs, free everything we have, and then all the games and the pet zoo, petting of animals, and all the rest of stuff that we have there. So, and then we have our tents and but we are still planning our elders gathering, Ray, and I hope that we can still have that in Selkirk Park.
Mm-hmm.
Where we have our trappers tents, and we have different tents and different stories that be taking place, different messages from our elders and youth. So we're looking forward still to hopefully pulling that off. But this Indigenous Day, there'll be Selkirk Local, actually, along with the Friendship Centers and others. They're doing their I think they call it some kind of, what do you call that thing when you go searching for something when they hide it? There's a name for that. They have, I'm trying to think of the name, I'm trying to look for it in my list here of stuff, but there's, it's a 1 week, you search around for hints, and then they scavenger hunt, that's what I'm looking for.
Scavenger hunt, okay.
Scavenger hunt, so, and then of course there's stuff happening at the Paul Friendship Center, University College of North, all the different places there. I don't know the force what they're doing, but I think they're doing something there also. And also keep the fires burning coming up. So I want to again thank the Kanichik that continues to do this, and all the volunteers that make it happen. It's such an important event. We've nominated Teresa Somerset. She's 93, I believe. Teresa, if you're listening, and still feisty and still ready to scrap at anybody on when you dare insult the Métis, she'll be up there to scrap at you right away. And of course, I want to thank again George Furry, our elder, left us and gone to his new home, but his daughter just got appointed, and now she's one of the new commissioners on the languages in Canada, new commissioner of English language offices that are taking place, and she'll be able to work out of Manitoba. I asked the minister if she can stay in the prairies, although it's and of course the Métis Nation are Western people anyway from the prairies. Right. So they said they don't see no reason why not. So I'm very proud of Georgina Liberty, and I lobbied in the context of sending her out there to make sure she get her name in there, her CV, and we sent recommendations from our government that she'd make an excellent candidate. So she's now the new director for the Michif languages. So Georgina, kudos to you. Your dad must feel so proud of you watching from above and looking at his daughter and how far you advanced, as given your dad was one of the founders of the MMF, and to see how far you've gotten now your own self. So again, birthdays are going out to Sharon Monkman from the Métis Justice Institute. Happy birthday to Linda Demray, who is celebrating. She's always at a call, I believe, 70th birthday on Wednesday. Happy birthday, Linda. And again, I want to say congratulations to all the graduates. I did a video, Ray. That's going out everywhere. And again, our regions are taking the task in full steam ahead for all grade 12 graduates that want to participate, but they have to participate. They're getting a check of $100, and they're also maybe a Visa, $100, one or the other. But it'll be $100 plus a gift package. And they have to participate. We're going to take their pictures, hear their stories, and hopefully look at what their future career decisions are going to be. Are they going to college? Are they going to university? And what can we do as a Métis government to make sure that we get all the tools and the resources necessary to do as much as we can to help them as they pursue their future in their career. We're also, of course, going $350 now to all the graduates coming out of universities and colleges. And again, you got to participate. You get the check, plus you get a package. You get a sash, you get some other goodies in the bag, and in all the regions. I know. I think today it's happening in Winnipeg, and Andrew Carrier and Dave Baudon and Joanne, they're out there right now and participating, giving out these beautiful gifts, at the same time a little check for them to have a little maybe celebration meal at home with their family, to go out and buy some stuff, or buy themselves just a gift for themselves. So again, to all graduates, right from nursery all the way to college and university, to doctorates, masters, all that levels. I just want to say we're so proud of you. Your parents are proud of you. I know that we're walking with our chests out high. My granddaughter is graduating from grade 8, moving to high school, grade 9, and she got her gown, her dress ready, and she's going to have a drive-by because she can't have people over. But she's all pumped up about it, and she's a little nervous about going to high school, right? She's going goes up to grade 8, where she is, and in Winnipeg here, and then she has to go to grade 9, and a little bit older of a crowd will be there, 9 to 12. So I said not to be nervous, always be proud of who she is and to what she believes. So I always raise her to be that way. And, of course, to my other grandsons and them that are graduating, to all graduates all across our province, I am proud just as a grandpa, and every grandpa and grandma are out there, and all parents. I know we feel so proud. And let's never forget, education is the key. It'll give you the tools and the opportunity to make your own decisions of where you want to go. Once you have an education, nobody can ever take it from you.
Right.
No matter who it is, even Pallister can try to stop us from many different things. But Pallister, in his vindictive style, for example, using him, he could never take David Chartrand's education away from him. He can never take David Chartrand's skill away from him.
Right.
That he can never do. He can come at me in any angle. He can try to hurt my people. I'll fight him back, but he can never take it from me. Right. So that's the power. That's empowerment. And that's what I want our young people to feel, that once you have that education, you have the ability to make decisions to where you want to go in life, what you want to be, what job you want to take on, what challenge you want to take on, and that you're going to provide a very good life for your family. But as my mom said, never forget where you come from. So that's very, very important for all. So again, Ray, with that being said, I to my mother-in-law out there, and thank you, Jody, for taking her, and Auntie Joe, thank you for taking them a little gift hamper package for them. And we still are having some challenges. I want to build those houses in Cranberry. I understand the municipality is waiting for a survey they did, questions, and I know there are people opposed to it. I can't believe it, why, Ray. And, most of the people that are opposed to it don't originate from Cranberry.
Yeah.
But the real Métis that live in Cranberry all their lives, buried in Cranberry, will be buried in Cranberry when they die. Those ones want to see housing come up. And then the ones that are going there, building their cottages on the lakefronts, and who got exceptions and were allowed to build their cottages, and all of a sudden they're saying, no, we don't want no more. But when they can just pick up and leave. They're not originally from there. But the Métis citizens, they can't pick up and leave. That's their home.
Yeah.
And so people opposed to us there, I cannot believe it. I don't understand it. Is that because you're worried just about yourself, or you got your cottage, you got your lakefront, now you're saying, to hell with the Métis, they don't deserve it? No, that's just not fair. So
right.
So I'm going to make sure I still push hard. I want those houses in Cranberry. And Kenny Dynasty, you're listening out there, I hope you're doing well. Kenny's always, I'm always worried about him now. Of course, he's getting much older up there, and he's always calling into our show. So Kenny from Fatso, that's what he calls Dorian. Fatso, take care and be well. So again, next one coming up, Ray, is jigging on our CTV every morning. Watch it, you guys, CTV Winnipeg, and in the evening sometimes. This month coming up, it'll be jigging for 1 month. Then we're going to beadwork, Ray. That's going to be something I'm so proud of, because that, you can only find that in the prairies, my friend. So is the fiddle. So is the dance. So is all that. It comes from the Red River. It comes from us. And those people in Ontario that are trying to steal our identity, they can go to hell. And because that is how they can't connect to us. They have no history of the fiddle music. They have no history of the wars. They have no history of the beadwork, the music, nothing. The language, the michif. Yet they're trying to say they're Métis Nation citizens. They have the right to all of our resources and the same opportunities, same rights, same harvesting rights, all of these things. They should have that same right as we have in the prairies. We waited 200 years, and we're never going to let no one steal it from us, right? And I guarantee you I'll fight the hell and back for that. So again, take care, everybody. And
I know you will, David, for sure. I always believe in you.
Thank you very much, Ray.
And I know the ones who come up against you are going to turn around and look and go, holy,
I still got the fight in me, Ray.
That you
so
sure
again,
have.
To all the elders, thank you so much for your guidance. And again, to our young people, please always remember, be proud of who you are, be proud to be Métis, and let no one take that from you. MMF will always have your back and get things better for you in the long run. And Marcy, you keep up the damn good work up there. You're doing such a magic job for us. And again, for all those people out there that are working hard, our staff during COVID, keep on working hard. Those that haven't gotten their needles for COVID, please do so. Your president's asking you. If you can't get there, phone us. We'll drive you there. If you need support to get there, if you need gas money, we'll give you gas money to get there. So just please get your needles, get your COVID. Let's get out of this damn suffocation we're in as a people, as a community, and let's try to go back so we can be a family again, where we can hug each other and support each other and stand with each other. So again, everybody be proud of who you are as a Métis citizen, and of all First Nations, be proud of who you are. And we have one of the most beautiful cultures in the world, Indigenous people. So take care. Happy Father's Day, and again, happy Métis Indigenous Day on Monday. Take care, everybody.
All right, thanks, David.
Take care. Bye-bye.
David Chartrand, the president of the Manitoba Métis Federation, with his weekly report. Métis matters, and does it ever, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it sure does.
All right.